Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, folks, and welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. Who vex? You lose. Who vex? Lose. Who vex? Vex. Welcome to our international podcast, Chisel Chipper 68. We see you out there. Yep. And I would repeat some of the sentiments expressed by Chisel Chipper 68. A good morning to all except King Liar. Folks, if it's Saturday, below the belt, it's Week in Review. And if we're talking about the Week in Review, folks, of course, we're talking about King Liar. There's a scathing editorial out today in Stabroek News. We're going to reflect on that a little bit. And some of the issues and events, personalities that made the news this past week. Of course, we're talking about Sugate. That is high on the agenda. Sugate, folks. Yep. You know how it went down, folks. You know how it went down. Once you're dealing with this administration, you're dealing with lies. You're dealing with untruths. Yep. You're dealing with a lot of hypocrisy as well. How you folks doing out there on this good Saturday? It's the 25th day of June. And I'm going to have to leave you guys a little early today. Have a very important meeting to head to on the other side of the hour. So we may wrap up a couple minutes early, folks. Just giving you that as an early warning. How y'all doing? Good to have you guys here. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. How you folks doing? Is the laundry finished? You should be having the first couple spoons of lunch. If we run time, that is. If we run time. Guys, I'm so happy that each and every one of you are here with us. So very privileged. So very privileged. Each and every one of you lovely folks are with us today. Folks like Riri Mingo Garaway. How you doing, Riri? Irma Holder is here as well. And Penelope Hudson. I see Mr. Allen himself, Kelvin Allen, the poor people governor is here. I wish the poor people governor would rock and come in today. I'd love to hear his thoughts on King Liar. Just say the word, bro. Just say the word and rock and come in. Carol Hudson, I see you there. Juliana, I see you there as well. Juliana Douglas, I see Edward Gonzalez from the Bronx. Idol Rodney is here with us as well. Idol says laundry done. We each need to strive to be a little bit more like Idol Rodney. Laundry's already been completed. Jewel Ward is here with us also, folks. Happy to have some Jewel here with us. Joy Hopkinson is here. We see you, Joy, and Ingrid King. Charlotte Doris, we see you as well. Yep. So, guys, we may finish just about 12:45 so that I can saunter off to that other meeting I have. But I'm looking forward to spending this time with you guys. Week in Review, we're talking about the Jagabats, the Trench Crappos, the Tadpoles, and the Cricketers. Yep, the Carrion Crows, the Scarecrows, and the Jumbie Birds. Oh, they were out in full force this week. Believe it or not, they were out. They didn't came out, they were out. They were out, folks. Roslyn Harry, how are you? Thomasina Band. Good to have you, folks. Sonita Rampat. Good to see you. Good to see each and every one of you. Ayabo, Natasha Congreves. Good afternoon to you beautiful folks out there. I see Joelle says she's having some beef and chicken foot cook up for lunch. My lord, my lord, my lord. What I want to do for a spoon of that right now? Mm-hmm. Yep. Good to have Karen Archibald. Good to have Earl Walcott. Beryl Crawford is here. Yep. Myrtle Hines is here too. Patricia Kisoon, we see you. Chandel Moses, we see you. Jackie Beard. Rock and come in. Guys, share the live. Wherever you're picking us up from, share the live, folks. Pinky Kerr. How you doing, Pinky? Erwin Don Cook is here too. Good to see Erwin. Good to see Dawn. Good to see Cook. Yep. Carl Roberts, come on down. Good to see you, Carol, and all the other folks who are joining us. Folks, what a week it was. What a week it was. We're so happy that you guys are here with us. Again, welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. We are Below the Belt. The folks joining us on Twitter, folks joining us on YouTube, on Facebook. Good to have you guys. Good to have you, folks. I trust that you guys have had a great week. Really trust that you folks have had a great week. And you're fired up. You're going to have a great weekend. All right. Hold a sec for us, guys. Hold a sec for us. Share the light. Yep. Good to have you folks with us. Really good to have you folks with us. And trust that you guys are great. What a week we've had, folks. What a week we have had. Nationally, that is. Maybe you had a better week. Rommel Burnett, Gavin Beresford, maybe you had a better week. Joel Ward, Fitz Gulliver, maybe you had a better week. And Pamela Sanchari. Folks, as you come on, share the live, smash that emoji button. Really want to hear from you guys today. Maybe if you have something extremely pertinent, we can take it via WhatsApp. Extremely pertinent, that is. That's the watchword. That's the phrase. Extremely pertinent. We can take a voice note or two, but we're going to be reflecting on some of the things, rehearsing some of the stories, the issues, and personalities that made the week. We are going to be looking at that, folks. We will be looking at that. Again, really good to have you guys here. Really, really good to have you guys here. Really, really, really happy. Where are our folks at? Where are our folks at? Where are our people at? Folks, you know, as the last week started, this is June 20th. Oh, we had one story in particular causing a lot of buzz, folks. One story in particular causing a lot of buzz. Yep. Was a lot of buzz being caused, folks. That's how the week started. I don't even know if we can move past this story. So much here, so much here. Week in review, nonetheless, guys. Week in review. And I'm certain you guys know what we're talking about. Think you guys know we're talking about Sugate. Guyana for sale, folks. Guyana for sale. Well, in case you know, that's what we're talking about. just in case you're living on the rock, you don't know what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Sugate, folks, Guyana for sale. What a shocker. What a shocker. Alana Tang, good day to you. That was quite a shocker. I can't lie. It was quite a shocker, folks. As you guys know, Showtime, in collaboration with Vice News, put out that mini documentary. And what a shocker Guyana for sale has been. Because we saw y'all boy. We saw how, quote unquote, business is done in this country. Carl Miller. We saw y'all boy. It was all about Sue. The landlord and the tenant. That's how Sunday started. And that's how we went into Monday, folks. If you guys can remember, that's how we went into Monday. Sugate, Guyana for sale. We talked about Jack Dio's Chinese connection, Mr. Sue. Sushi wrong. Yep. We understood for perhaps the first time, seeing it all on camera, live and living color, how them boys just carry the business. Yep, we saw how them boys do business. I see a comment, Patricia King says, was a shocker to the bone. We saw, folks, how the boys transact business. Oh, y'all didn't understand that that's how they transact business? But we're bringing y'all in fast. We're bringing y'all in fast how business is transacting in this country. Bringing y'all in real fast, guys. And I want to head to a particular part of Guyana for sale that you guys need to familiarize yourself with. Because even Stabroek News editorial today spoke to this. And I know we got some people going to want bury their head in the sand. Like the proverbial ostrich. They're going to want bury their head in the sand. They don't want to hear what we're going to play next. Because it gives us an understanding how them boys just transact business. It gives us that understanding. You know, how business is conducted locally. So we're gonna cue it up for you guys. As a matter of fact, let us take it from the interview that was released a couple months ago, in which Mr. Jagdio was trying to get ahead of some of this public relations. He was trying to get ahead of some of that. And I'm referring specifically to that interview with Isabel Young. Take a listen to that. And then we can come back on the other side and we're going to pick up from the Vice News mini documentary and an excerpt from that. But this is the journalist Isabel Young of Vice Media talking to Mr. Jagdio. But as you guys know, when they were having this conversation, what we know now is that sting operation already went down. Claudette Boville, that sting operation had already gone down. Take a listen to the first interview we heard with Isabel Young and your vice president.
A number of Chinese business people in Guyana who said that you do accept bribes, and that have said that in fact it's the only way to get business done is to bribe you. One Chinese.
Let us know if you're hearing the interview, folks.
Timber Logging told us that basically, as long as the vice president is okay with it, it's fine. He just needs to give one phone call to whoever's in charge. They'll get it done right away. The real big boss is the vice president. Everything is under the table. The whole country is like this.
Yeah, well, I can't comment on that. Yes, but
let's talk about
let me tell you something. So all my statements are in within. The Chinese company.
Talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Zhirong?
So my relationship.
All right, folks, we're gonna get that song for you. Apologies there. Apologies. The folks are saying they're not getting this song. We are gonna try to get that better for you. We apologize. We apologize for that. We apologize for that. We thought it was going through. Thanks for the feedback, guys. Thank you so much for that feedback. We are gonna get that better for you guys. We're gonna get it better for you. Yep. That's how some of that went down, folks. That is how some of that went down. A lot of stuff happening, folks. A lot of stuff. So the week started with that. Interview from Vice News. That mini documentary, rather, from Vice News going out there on Showtime. That is the shocker how the week started. That is the shocker how the week started. And what a shocker that was. What a shocker that was, folks. My Lord. And in that documentary, we learned that the vice president had invited Mr. Su over with some quote unquote investors. And we saw for ourselves Maureen Coppin Williams and Tessa Isaacs Graves Andy. We saw for ourselves and heard for ourselves. Mr. Jagdio telling these supposed investors that Su is the one who handles all the agreements, who has all our support. He's the one. He has it all. Beatrice Selby, Claudette Bovell Lewis. Sue's the man. Sue has it all. He has our support. And he handles all the agreements. He's our friend. He's our friend. Well, Marlon Thomas and Alana Tang, Sandrine Beard. I want to go to Stabroek News editorial today because Stabroek News didn't play with them today. That's what I want you all to know. Stabroek News didn't play with them today, folks. Good folks. Beatrice Selby, Rami Leander, Gwyneth Anderson, Jackie Beard. Stabroek News didn't play with them today. And the header for Stabroek News' editorial, guys, is playing the victim. Of course, they're talking about Mr. Jack Joe. Right? Everybody wrong him. He never do nobody nothing. Right? You don't know how these people land in the living room and why they come to try to set him up. But in his most unguarded moment, he didn't take a bribe. Well, Stabroek News had a lot to say. Quite an editorial here. Quite an editorial here. I'm going to read a couple paragraphs for you guys so you can get a sense, and the rest of it is homework for y'all. There's only bell missing. Once the bell sung for the program to adjourn. Homework. Folks, I want to alert you. I'm going to have to leave you guys a bit early today. We won't go our full hour. I'm going to take my leave at around 1:45 to head off to a very important meeting that I need to be in. So I beg your indulgence for us concluding an early program today. But we here, folks. Let me turn your attention, man. Let me turn your attention to this Stabroek News editorial. Please and thank you. Let us turn our attention there for just a little bit. Pamela McGregor and Nandi Melissa Lewis. Rachel Wolford. Good to see you guys. John Passat. Good to see you. Good to see you, John Passat. John, see your face look guilty. Your face show it. I believe you, John. I believe you. Hear what this editorial says out of Stabroek News today. Playing the victim is the header. It says, what if your average American viewer slumped down on their lazy boy on Sunday evening and purely by chance, flicked on Vice's Guyana for Sale? What would his or her takeaway, aside from, oh, so Guyana in South America, what would be their takeaway? Probably it would be that there's some strong man in power who is a close friend and a landlord to a shady-sounding Chinese businessman who claims to be a conduit for bribes, just as the country has discovered oil. Prima facie. Something is not right in Guyana. This is Stabroek News, folks. And the editor's pen moves along. Of course, the editorial says, Guyanese know better, having had the benefit of a full 2-hour explanation by the vice president on Tuesday on how in his most vulnerable moment he heroically did not fall for this devious journalistic ruse to accept a bribe, and how he now feels vindicated. Add to that, we have been treated over the past few days to a chorus of the most sycophantic outpourings of support. Right? A most sycophantic outpouring of support from the usual suspects, including from a politician who is supposed to be from an independent party. That's Schumann they're talking about here, folks. Gwyneth, Deborah Clark, the Schumann they're talking about. When you read Schumann's letter in the papers, you think Schumann proposing to Jack Dio. It's only left for Jack Dio to say, I do. or Lisa Durant is only left for Jack to say, I do, and he and Schumann could move forward. It's like a proposal. Folks, the editorial goes on. It goes on to state, rally round the VP. Meanwhile, supposedly independent online news sites have abandoned any journalistic objectivity and solidarity, and instead are acting as Mr. Jagdio's public relations operative. If the cap fits, Stabroek News says, if the cap fits. That's what Stabroek News says. If the cap fits, you got to waive it. Those independent, quote unquote, online news sites. That's what Stabroek News taking aim at. Who are willing to bend their journalistic values and morals for a fistful of dollars. I'm ad-libbing there. Here's what the editorial goes on to say. This has all served to portray Barra Jagdeo as some naive, witless victim, not only of Mr. Sue, but also of a cowboy gotcha journalism, outfit pushing an anti-China narrative. But how did Mr. Jagdeo become friends with Mr. Sue, the editorial asked. Clearly, this is a long-term relationship, as Mr. Jagdeo has admitted to Isabel Young. He said, yes, I am. Yes, he's a friend of ours. His father was here for many years ago. Mr. Sue goes back to the Baishengling days, Stabroek News says. He has appeared in several newspaper articles over the years as a representative of various companies, including high-tech construction, which received prime lands for real estate on the East Bank prior to 2015. The editorial goes on to state he is said to be an integral member of the Chinese business community. In other words, he is not some rogue loner. That's Stabroek News. Patricia King. That's Stabroek News. Gwyneth Boville. That's Stabroek News for us. And then they go on to state, Sue is my friend. Sorry. As Mr. Jagdeo said in the meeting in his house, Sue is my friend. He gets all the support. He deals with all the agreements. Right? Sue does the agreements. We give him all the support. Stabroek News says, note agreements in the plural. There is a history here we don't know about. That is Stabroek News, folks. I'm going to stop there. The rest of the editorial is yours. Stabroek News says, quoting Mr. Jagdeo, Sue is my friend. He gets all the support. Sue does the agreements. We give him all the support. Note agreements is in the plural. There is a history here we don't know about. Nandi Melissa, Kurt Heidecken, Patricia Kissoon. I agree with Stabroek News. There is more in the matter than on the pistol here. And I'm happy that Stabroek News has the courage to point it out. You know, when Stabroek News start talking up, them boys to stop the government ads and so on to Stabroek News. But I'm happy, and I say respect and manners to Stabroek News for having the courage to point it out. Folks, we have over 500 folks tuned into our podcast. We can see from the back end. We invite you guys to give the program a share and smash that emoji button for us. Ayabo, do you agree with Stabroek News here? There is a history here we don't know about. Sue makes all the agreements. He has all our support. Stabroek News, listening to these words, in its own deliberate judgment, reflecting on the words, Sue is my friend. He gets all the support. He deals with all the agreements. Sue does all the agreements. We give him all the support. Stabroek News, reflecting on these words, Joylyn Nelson Brown, Stabroek News says there is a history here we don't know about. Do we agree with Stabroek News? I agree with Stabroek News. Mean hiding under no rock to say that, behind no wall or curtain. I agree. They got more in the matter than what on the epistle. And folks, that is the challenge. That is the challenge that we got to deal with today. The very serious challenge we got to deal with. And you guys can read more of this editorial, Playing the Victim. That's what Stabroek News say. He playing the victim. Right? He is not naive. In Stabroek News words. Right? Nobody then put the investor and Sue in his living room. He invited them in. Right? He invited them in. Right? Hear what it says here as the editorial ends. Mr. Jagdio is a master of spin. Mr. Jagdio is a master of spin, but no one compelled him to consort with a Chinese businessman, let alone have him as a tenant. At best, it shows him to be a very poor judge of character from a politician who his acolytes claim to be some genius. At best, Stabroek News editorial, it shows him to be a very poor judge of character from a politician who his acolytes claim to be some genius. If Jagdio is a genius, how come the economy is stuttering like this? How come money is circulating? How come everything's sky high, including the cost of living and the inflation rate? If he's so bright, how come healthcare and the pocketary tin? And as Stabroek News says, if he's so bright, who compelled him to be consorted with a Chinese businessman, let alone to have him as a tenant and a best friend with this kind of character? And finally, the editorial says, there may be no smoking gun, but there sure is a lot of smoke. President Ali will do nothing about this. They get that right. President Ali will do nothing about this. That's in keeping with his nature. He owes everything to his mentor. But he must also understand that this episode has not only tarnished Jagdio's reputation, but has spread to his administration and will affect the investment climate. I take that. Adjustments, including the defined portfolio, should be a good start. Adjustments, including a defined portfolio, would be a good start, as well as a clear framework on how and with whom potential investors should engage with the government. The editorial is very, very specific in stating this is a government that goes on favors and friendship. If you're friend with them, you can get through. If not, nope. Nope. And that is precisely, we tell you, what is happening with Rams Logistics. Rams Logistics wants to do honest business. But they don't understand. They got grease hands. Right? You got to go in the living room with Sue, who has all the support and makes all the agreement. They're learning that the hard way. And so them boys telling Rams Logistics, who this week, as we reflect on the weekend review, were denied a local content certificate. Rams Logistics, this very week, ladies and gentlemen, they were denied a local content certificate, basically to do business here within the oil and gas sector. Right? And Jagdio and his acolytes saying that they have not met all the requirements. Not only have they not met all the requirements according to Jagdio and his acolytes, the administration has now levied a $20 million fine on Rams Logistics, purporting that they didn't convey to the administration in the correct way that one of their boats were leaving the jurisdiction. So for that, they have a fine of $20 million. You know what's the problem? Rams Logistics did not go into the living room with Sue. Who's sharing the live? Sunita Rampat, Ramalianda. Rams Logistics did not go into the living room with Sue. That is the problem. Oh, they come and they look at things and they think, oh, once you dot all your I's and you cross all your T's, you just get through. Mistake. You better meet Sue. You better know Sue. That is a problem. They didn't meet Sue. And so Jack Dio, who Stabroek News pointed out yet again, is the one who was very clear in his living room, meeting with investors and meeting with a man who holds no portfolio in government, a private citizen, talking about getting hotel license and all of that. And he says he's vindicated. Y'all don't catch me. Y'all too slow. Y'all don't catch me. Right? He's the Usain Bolt of agreements and so on. Y'all don't catch me. And so Rams Logistics is learning the hard way. Right? That unless you know Sue, business you cannot do. Nope, 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 nope. They're finding out the hard way. Right? They're finding out the hard way. Finding out the hard way. Here is what Kaieteur News said about this as we reflect on the weekend review in its Monday editorial. This was Kaieteur News and the very SU. Kaieteur News says, again, it is the way that business is done under the PPPC in Guyana. On his own behalf, Vice President Jack Dio, the leader of the Chinese and the leader that the Chinese identity. I'm reading my own thing here, folks. Apologies. On his own behalf, Vice President Jack Dio, the leader that the Chinese identify as the go-to man, right? The leader that the Chinese identify as the go-to man is recorded on tape as saying that he knows Sue. Sue is my friend. He gets all the support. Kaieteur News says there are two ways to interpret those two most important words uttered by Guyana's vice president in his exchange with this strange investor. They are friends, quote unquote, friends, and support, quote unquote, as in my friend, and he gets all the support. The first interpretation, Kaieteur News says, is routine and the essence of innocence itself, the first interpretation. But we beg, folks. But we ain't stupid. Kaieteur News goes on to say, friend could just mean that, and only that, and nothing more. Everything stops right there. The same goes for support, which is usually employed in run-of-the-mill things in everyday life. However, and this is the key, Kaieteur News says, and this is the danger, when friend and support function as carefully and deliberately chosen code words. Carefully and deliberately chosen code words. Then they take on a whole new life by themselves with a world of new meaning accompanying. It could be a signal, Kaieteur News said on Monday, that this man is one of us because he is spoken for. Therefore, He is good for whatever he comes for, be it a contract, land, stone, or mineral resources. We can review. That was Kaieteur News on this very issue. Karen Clark, Royston Sampson, that was Kaieteur News. Loretta, that was Kaieteur News. That was Kaieteur News. Right? It was not new. Leon Goberdan was Kaieteur News. It was Kaieteur News. And I want to reflect on what a very serious journalist, respected journalist in this country said on this issue this past week. It is worth rehearsing because it is so profound. Even in the simplicity, it's so profound. The journalist said, and I wish to repeat, look how normal it is for a sitting official, a constitutional office holder, to do a potential investment meeting in his home when foreign investment is not even covered in his portfolio. Look how easy, how normal it is for a sitting official, a constitutional office holder, to do a potential investment meeting in his home when foreign investment is not even covered in the portfolio. Look how easy. Sion Butters, Suzette Washington, look how easy. Angie Christenberg, look how easy. Nandi Melissa Lewis. That was Nazima Raguber. Nazima said, look how easy it is. You know? Look how easy. But folks, the American Embassy, in case you didn't know it, also put out a statement this very week on this matter. The American Embassy put out a statement, right? And it's a statement that the folks like Leon Goberdan don't have the intellectual fortitude to comprehend and to understand. So crude and base is their nature. They won't understand it. So crude and base. Right? So crude and base. Here what the American Embassy said. And this comment here is attributed to News Source. This is on Monday. The U.S. Embassy put out a statement. The U.S. Embassy said, the U.S. has long been an advocate for anti-corruption. Y'all know what I mean, right? The U.S. has long been an advocate for anti-corruption and the rule of law in Guyana, as well as a free press. See, I don't come wrong, Isabel Young funny. The Americans say they believe in anti-corruption, the rule of law, as well as a free press. So the press got to do the press got to do. If you don't want the press to do the work, don't go in your living room sitting down with potential investors and a Chinese man named Sue. Right? The statement went on to say, it went on to add, consistent with Guyana's laws, accountability, and the soundest approach to maintain confidence in government and a level playing field for all investors. Read together, it said, the U.S. has long been an advocate for anti-corruption and the rule of law, as well as the free press. It added that consistent with Guyana's laws, accountability is the soundest approach. Accountability is the soundest approach to maintain confidence in government and a level playing field for all investors. All you take that. All you take that. Bellamona, That's what it says. Run the lane. That's what it says, Rhonda. That's what the thing say. Who's sharing the life for us? You know, those folks who are now joining us, bad luck for y'all. I did intimate that we wouldn't be able to do our full hour today. Got to run out a very important meeting that helps us to keep the wheels on this side turning. But folks, as we head into the weekend, we encourage you guys to smash that important, that emoji button for us, an important button. Share the live for us. Others get valid, incredible information. The Americans say they advocate for anti-corruption. I am sure Kim Walker does the same thing. We're not in for corruption. That's a Claudette Bobby Lewis. Aubrey Stevens, you advocate for anti-corruption? Yes. Sherry Baskin Greenwich, Gemma George. The Americans told us this week, we advocate for anti-corruption and the rule of law, as well as a free press. Right? You see, we didn't touch on nothing else for the week. Well, we did touch on Ramps Logistics as an allied issue. Ramson getting in the living room. That's why they venture getting off the ground. They ain't getting in the living room. They don't know Sue. Or they don't know Sue handles all the agreements. Right? They don't know Sue has all the support. Maybe if Sue was a board member, you know, Rams Logistics. So if Sue was a friend who handles the processing or the consultancy, things might have gone different. You understand? But that's the problem. They come into this country, the PVP or the Helmer government, and they don't understand nothing works as per normal. That's what they don't understand. Sion Butter says, Rams ain't want pay. Right? Rams ain't want pay. You know more than we do. You know more than we do. They don't want to pay. Folks, I got to run. We got to run. We got to run. Good to have had you here, folks, for today. Good to have had each and every one of you here. Share the live. Smash that emoji button, folks. We ask that you partner with us so that we can meet our monthly responsibilities that come with doing all of these programs. We're available via Zelle and PayPal. We're available via Cash App. You should know we are also available via MMG. That's the local Cash App. You know, GTD should cut us a check for talking about MMG so much. And we're also available via MoneyGram and Western Union. It takes something to do this program, folks. It takes something to do this program. And we're so happy that you guys have been so welcoming and supportive of our efforts. And we really love sharing the information with you guys because we know that informed citizens make informed decisions and choices, you know. And unlike some folks, we ain't got all the support to them, right? We don't handle the agreements. But we're happy that we have your support. And we're publicly funded by you guys. We're thankful for that. Share the live, smash that emoji button, and remember to partner with us. We're going to be off tomorrow because tomorrow we are going to be recalibrating some of our systems, upgrading some of our systems to better serve you guys. So we're going to be off tomorrow. There'll be no podcast tomorrow. No podcast. So I tell your friend, no podcast tomorrow. We'll put up the notice too. No podcast tomorrow. So we're going to see you guys back on Monday. Have some time for yourselves and family. Have a fantastic weekend, folks. You know, would have loved to touch on some of the other stories that made the news, but this one here was so all-encompassing, so pervasive, so ubiquitous. And from what we know, Sue is still missing, folks. Sue is still missing. Share the live, smash that emoji button for us, and partner with us as well. We're going to see you guys back here on Monday. Remember, no podcast tomorrow. We're going to be tweaking the system. No podcast tomorrow. Have a fantastic rest of the weekend, guys. Claudette Bobby Lewis, we see you out there. Kim Walker, Cecile Ogle, Cecile. Good to see you, Cecile. Ingrid Koja, good to have you here as well. Good to have you. Chinsing Henry, we see you as well. Good to have you. Ingrid Carter. Carl Roberts, we see you. Ayabo, Natasha, Congreves, we see you as well. Mayburn King. Have a great weekend, Mayburn King. We're going to see you guys back next week on Monday. Fresh start. Fresh start, new week and a fresh start, guys. See you guys back on Monday. No podcast. Tomorrow, we're recalibrating with systems. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're going to see you guys back on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. Have a great weekend, guys. That's we time. That's we program.